In today's video, we're talking about how to maintain integrity at all times while creating content, while speaking to prospects, while coaching your clients. Obviously, this video applies to you only if you care about integrity, if it's important for you to be practicing what you preach, if it's important for you to feel aligned. If these things are important for you, scroll to the next cat video. Having said that, the premise of the entire thing, and this is something that came up in my community with two coaches. One of them is an intimacy coach. Essentially, people have more intimacy in their relationships. She herself is going through a rough patch in her own relationship. So she was like, I don't feel so good telling people what to do when I'm not doing it right now. Another coach is an attraction marketing coach. She helps people get dream clients using attraction marketing. Brought up the same thing to me. She said, the things I'm telling my people to do, I'm not doing all of them myself. So am I in integrity? And that's what prompted me to create this video, because if my people are having this problem, then chances are my ideal prospects and my dream clients are having this problem too. So how do you practice what you preach? How do you say what you mean and mean what you say at all times with every single person you speak to? Difficult not to crack. You've probably been taught, and your coaches might have said this, my first coach certainly said this, that you want to be doing it yourself at all times. Easier said than done. We're human. I don't subscribe to the philosophy that you have to be doing whatever you're teaching right now, otherwise it's a lie. And I break it down into three questions, and I'm going to share those three questions with you. Essentially, three lenses through which to look at whether you're in integrity or not. Because here's the real thing. It's not about whether you are in integrity or not. It's about how much in integrity you are. That's a bit of a spectrum for different people. So the first question, the simple one, the no-brainer question is what you are teaching or telling someone to do something you've ever done in your life before? So all the business coaches telling people to build, or telling people they'll help them build seven-figure businesses who've never done it themselves, wrong. Don't do that. It's a lie. And this is a simple no-brainer one, right? And that I'm sure everybody can answer. And the people who are still doing it know deep down inside that what they're doing, they're troubled about it, whatever. The next question is where it gets tricky. How long ago did you do this? Now, this varies from situation to situation and from person to person. But for example, I have no issues telling people to sell an asset to work with me. And so my clients will often say, well, how do you have so much confidence that you can just tell someone, go sell that and work with me? Does it not mess with you? I'm like, no, because I invest in myself. I have sold stuff to invest in myself not too long ago when I was starting my coaching business, and I have no qualms about doing it today. And so for me, the Goldilocks zone for how long ago is, let's say, between 6 months to 2 years, not longer than that. And then it varies from person to person, but I think the wrong answer for this, unless you are one of those gifted individuals who just absorb something once and then becomes like the Buddha, I think the wrong answer for this would be, I did something once upon a time and now I feel certified to teach other people how to do it. Because there's got to be some level of continuous learning, continuous practice. But the next question after this one qualifies it even more. So how long ago depends on the variables, meaning what context are we speaking about? Is it something physical? Is it something emotional? Is it something that is a recurring pattern, a theme? Is it something that happens once in your life? Is it healing, trauma, so on and so forth? The last question is the trickiest question of them all, but it solves the problem right down to a T. And the last question is, does it make sense for you to be doing what you are telling someone else to be doing right now? And the best example that I give of this is, I usually tend to work with two types of people. One is the proverbial subject matter expert who has a lot of expertise, lots of usually decade of experience, knows what they're talking about, knows everything inside out, and they usually have a problem of having too much authority. So they know too much, and people get intimidated by them, and they're not seen as approachable. So I tell them, you need to be more approachable, and we change their content cadence and calendar accordingly. On the other hand, I also get to work with a lot of influencer style, personality style, personal brands, people who are highly relatable and lovable, and everybody just loves them. Their audience don't feel that they're qualified to work with them, so they have too much relatability problem, not enough authority. So I tell them we build authority into their content because they need to demonstrate people that they have subject matter expertise. Two very different personalities, two very different types of content. The question then becomes, yeah, what are you doing? Does it make sense for you? So should I then all of a sudden be doing exactly what I'm telling the high authority people and be doing what I'm telling the high relatability people? No, absolutely not. And so the lens or the question that I use here is, does it make sense for me to be doing this right now in my funnel? So for example, I don't have an authority problem, but if I were to start creating a very high authority content because I'm telling someone with high relatability to do that, does it make sense for my funnel? Absolutely not. Similarly, if I am telling somebody, hey, you need more leads, so how about you start generating leads? Should I be doing the same thing myself? Depends on whether I have a lead generation problem. I don't have a lead generation problem. I tend to work more on lead nurture, so I don't need to be generating leads. They do. Similarly, if I'm seeing someone who isn't thinking long and hard about their content and I tell them, hey, you need to think about the angles, you need to think about the themes, you need to think about the person you're creating it for. On the other hand, I have somebody else who thinks too much about their content and I'm telling them, you need to stop thinking, just go do. Your titles, your themes, your hooks, your angles, everything's fine, just go do. Where does that leave me? So the answer to this is, it depends on whether my funnel or my stage or your funnel or your stage requires it. Because many times it makes zero sense for you to do what you're telling other people to do because you're not at that stage anymore. You'd actually be hurting yourself if you did what you're telling other people to do. And so I hope this helps you. The 3 questions to ask yourself are, have you ever done this? If you haven't, perhaps don't tell people to do it. How long ago was it? If it's been 6 months to, let's say, 2 years, maybe you should revisit it. For me, the Goldilocks zone is not even 6 months. It's usually 3 months. The confidence to tell people to invest in themselves. If I hadn't done it for myself in the last 3 to 6 months, and that's one of the reasons why I keep investing myself, because I do truly subscribe to the philosophy that we attract who we are being. And so for me, it's almost a no-brainer to just be that person and attract people. And then the third question is, does it make sense for me to be doing what I'm telling somebody else to be doing? Or does it make sense for me to do what I'm doing and for them to do what I'm telling them to do, because that's what they need? I hope this helps you. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.